No, we have to get this episode over with so I can go home and watch more snooker. And we're live.
You are now listening to Radio Rufus.
Yes, hello everybody and welcome back to Radio Rufus, ranked 5 stars on iTunes by Steve Jobs himself. This is the greatest pillar of comedy currently existing across the sphere of creative media, and as always we endeavour to continue to bring the greatest, the latest, the hottest, fresh off the presses, news, sports, games, songs from around the world. It's your traditional radio show with a twist, of course. Some of the scoops might not be quite as fresh as you'd imagine, because as always I am purring like a Persian cat in the animal emporium of our 60s radio studio. Managed to squeeze an analogy out there in the end. Anyway, let's get into our first segment, not news. Here's what hit the headlines this week. A Florida man has been cleared of manslaughter after claiming a death was caused by his penis being too big. Indiana woman has rung 911 to report a drug dealer for selling substandard meth. An ugly monkey been found in a woman's conservatory. Seagull boy and cheeseball man. Let's get into it then with our first story. A man in Florida has been cleared of manslaughter charges after claiming a death was caused by his penis being too big. 65-year-old Dick Henry Patterson. The name, I mean,
of course his
name is Dick. Yeah. A native of Broward County, Florida, which also happens to be where XXXTentacion was killed. So,
any correlation?
It's not really relevant. No, I don't think so. Not really relevant to this story, but it is true. Was accused of murdering his girlfriend after police found her body at his house. The autopsy was unable to identify the exact cause of death, so they couldn't rule out anything, really, including asphyxiation, which is what Rock Hard Richard is claiming happened by accident. So he claimed she suddenly choked to death whilst basically playing a piece on his skin flute. A sort of diploma level piece, I would have thought, if this is happening. It's quite advanced stuff. In what can only be described as a fornication fatality.
A fellatio fatality?
Nice. A fatality. It's rubbish, isn't it? Yeah. That's so crap.
It is nice for some, though, even being able to threaten to do this to someone. Do you know what I mean? The fact that he was.
I can see why they were together.
What?
Well, he's supplying the weaponry, and she's got the techers, clearly.
But not really if she choked on it. Do you know what I mean?
I guess so. I didn't. Yeah.
It's not his
right,
fault.
actually. I've got it the wrong way around.
Yeah.
She's got a strong gag reflex.
Yeah.
Barely able to get the tip in.
It's not his fault that she didn't know the limits of her throat.
I mean, if we're saying what he said here is true.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, he's just murked his girlfriend, left her to decompose for a bit so they couldn't have a proper autopsy, and then rung the police, obviously.
How long do you have to be left to start to decompose?
It said 24 hours.
That's all?
So he called the police. This is suspicious, right? He called the police a day after her body.
Yeah.
You know.
But of all things you would think of, surely them choking on your cock isn't the number one excuse you would give?
Oh, do you think he should have come up with something better?
Well, it seems like he is making something up, because there's 100 things that, like, oh, she fell, or she just turned ill, she died suddenly. Especially if it's left to the point where they can't tell.
What do you think is like the least convincing excuse?
Fucking this.
Really?
It sounds like a case of someone kind of, you know, whenever lads, they have a really loud car.
Yeah.
But they've got a really small cock.
Okay, I'd like you to apply that analogy to this story.
He's trying to overcompensate, because he's sort of insecure about the size of his knob. So whenever she died, he thought of this as a sort of opportunity to have someone believe that he's got the materials to choke someone with his cock.
There's some more details in this case which I think go against what you've just said there. We'll get to them. But first, we're going to hear from medical examiner Michael Barzan, who lent Patterson a hand with his testimony. He said he's graduated from the Tom Garrett School of Medicine, I believe. He said it's up to the jury to decide whether to accept his excuse or not. quote, as I've not seen it, I can't say that the penis alone will choke somebody to death. However, if there's obstruction, it's possible. The penis could obstruct the windpipe. So it's not like this is just untrue as a premise.
Yeah.
This can happen.
I understand
You could.
that it can happen.
Yeah.
But if this was to happen, surely whenever they gag and they start to choke, you remove yourself. It seems if it actually has happened, it seems like he's grabbed.
It's a crime of
fucking
passion.
head.
It's caught up in the moment.
Yeah. Surely after all the choking and the pleas for help, though, you'd stop the.
Yeah, you would hope so. Anyway, a little bit more detail here. So to harden his case, he filed a motion for an opportunity to show the jury his one-eyed cobra.
Did they take to that?
So I think what that says is either it's one of the most impressive bluffs of all time, or he's going, my cock is actually massive.
He's doubling down.
I mean, I've still killed my girlfriend, but my cock is massive.
Yeah.
Though. So,
you know what's mental? The
sort
fact-
of take some sympathy.
Yeah. He's 65.
Yeah, I was going to say impressive.
This is someone's grandfather,
yeah.
and he's getting up to this shit at 65.
I mean,
Kind of a legend.
kind of respect. Anyway, yeah. So he wanted to show the jury the skin flute, hoping to prove that the python basically was of sufficient magnitude to cause asphyxiation.
Do you reckon they would have to get like a ruler out?
Well, like measure her throat, measure his knob.
Yeah, see if it adds up.
Ultimately, the jury went, "No, we don't.
We're happy enough.
We're okay. I don't think we need to see it." But they did return a verdict of not guilty on the basis of insufficient evidence.
Right.
Because he left the body to decompose before they did the autopsy.
Surely that raises a few alarm bells, but apparently not.
I mean, it's not hard and fast. It's not an open and shut case.
It's not.
It? So, congratulations, Dick. You beat the court of law there, although you definitely haven't beaten the court of public opinion. I'm struggling to decide whether you're a murderer or a legend.
It reminds me a bit of the Bukake story from a couple of weeks ago. Like the roller coaster of emotions this man must have been going through, if it was genuine accident. Because I don't imagine your average 65-year-old is getting sucked off too often. So to go from getting sucked off to facing a prison sentence in a matter of seconds.
But then this has come all the way back around because then he's beaten it.
Yeah.
And he's back out. I can just imagine him, walking out of that courthouse, hopping in to his 1990s Mazda.
Yeah. Just at the pension age as well.
Yeah. Just got his pension.
Yeah.
Hey, head down there. Strippers, cocaine.
Things are looking up for Richard.
Hey, he's gonna have a great. It's gonna have this is gonna be like a second gap year, like his first year of retirement.
He's getting a second wind.
Yeah, exactly. His girlfriend's dead, so now he has no responsibilities anymore. Like, anyway, Dick Patterson,
legend.
If you're listening, we'd love to have you on. So, please write in and tell us the truth. To our next story, an woman from Indiana rang 911. I have to stop myself always from reading that as 911.
Yeah.
911, it's different. To report a drug dealer for selling substandard meth. I don't think 911 would be much help if you rang them.
Maybe if you rang them ahead of time.
Yeah.
Do you think that the people that planned that thought, you know what, it would really fuck with people for a long time if we chose September the 11th?
Oh, you think they did it deliberately to coincide with the dialing
phone number
code for the
yeah,
police?
just to confuse people. Maybe that wasn't their main aim. But
So no, I feel like they had bigger priorities. So I think the phrase they would probably use is "worked out nicely."
yeah.
Anyway, back over to our new segment, American Unintelligence here. 34-year-old moron Sarah Harris rang police twice. You like that, yeah? Rang police twice in January to complain about the poor cook quality of her favourite Moorish drugs, as revealed by court documents. She obtained the meth from her regular dealer, known only by his alias Tony the Tiger. I added that. That's what I had to say.
I read that and was like, what?
I just felt like putting that in. That wasn't in the article. I just thought that's a sick name for a dealer, Tony
It
the
is, to be
Tiger.
honest, yeah.
After sparking up the crystals with a school Bunsen burner, I also added that, she, quote, felt something different when the vapors touched her skin and nostrils. She compared the experience as very painful when compared to her regular meth that she normally smokes with her mates. I'm glad it's a social activity.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the worst aspects of being a drug addict is how isolating it is. Because everyone, not that I would know. I mean, my favourite drugs is literally Calpol. I love Calpol.
Calpol is unreal.
Fucking so good.
Yeah. They should make like a drink flavour.
Yeah, they should take out all the medicine and just make it a drink.
That'd be unreal. I would buy that fucking daily.
Yeah.
Remember when you were younger and you used to pretend you were sick?
Imagine a vodka Calpol. That would be so good.
You bring me that for Invention Centre some week, and I am fucking...
We're doing it. Write that down. Vodka Calpol. Next week, we're trying it on the pod.
Beautiful. How much Calpol can you drink, though, like, safely?
That's what I'm worried about, is ODing on the Calpol. The vodka's fine.
It would be a hard one to, like, bring your reputation back from if you overdosed on Calpol.
Yeah. Harris, after having this subpar methamphetamine smoking experience, she then buzzed the police and directly handed the drugs over to the Rozzers in the hopes they would conduct, I don't know, some kind of GCSE chemistry experiment. Do a titration or something on this and find out what the crystals like really were, because she was like, it's not meth. It tastes different. It tastes bad. It's burning me.
Sure. This is a spiteful woman because, yes, maybe the meth was really bad, but at the same time, she's just grassing on herself.
Yeah, also, I feel like if you're a meth addict, you can't be choosy, man.
Yeah. It's not as if it's like, you don't know what you're getting from week to week.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you signed up for this life.
Yeah.
Feel like you can't just call the police about this. And the police agree. So, she was apparently fully willing to admit total guilt of possession of drugs in return for, like, them investigating the dodgy dealer.
That meth must have been fucking bad.
I tried to look up, like, what was the worst crystals and then think about smoking those. It turns out basically all substances go crystal.
Yeah.
Because, like, even ice is a crystal.
Right.
I mean, smoking ice would be rubbish.
You wouldn't get much of a kick from that?
No. That's like... Well, I was going to say that's like drinking water, but that is...
Quite literally.
Yeah. Smoking an ice. That's quite good. Maybe I'll use that from now on.
It does sound
I can smoke some ice right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that does sound like crack.
Do you mean whenever you physically want to get ice and smoke it, or do you mean...
No, when I'm having drinking water, like, I could smoke some ice right now.
Yeah. We'll turn that into a regular on Radio Rufus. Anytime you need a top up.
Just smoking ice.
Yeah.
Ice me. I like it.
Ice me.
Yeah. This arrest does not mark Harris's first run-in with the cops.
It never does.
It never does.
No.
That doesn't surprise me. She has prior convictions for, count 'em, theft, meth possession. Before, doesn't surprise me. Criminal mischief, like the sound of that, because that just sounds like antics.
That could be anything.
Lollygagging, skullduggery, that sort of stuff. Just, yeah. Disorderly conduct, resisting, and operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated. No prizes for guessing what she was on during that. I've heard that, like, smoking meth makes you very productive.
I can't say I've ever smoked it, and I don't know too much. I watched Breaking Bad. That's about the height of it.
Those guys were fucking girl bosses.
Yeah.
Those two blokes.
But they didn't really. Well, Jesse smoked a bit of it. I don't think Walter indulged too often.
You know who's like the hot girl from that show is like a celebrity crush that I remember exists sometimes.
Which one? Jesse's woman.
Jesse's. Yeah, like, she's a bit of a goth.
The black-haired one?
Yeah.
Yeah, she overdoses.
Yeah. That kind of put me off a little bit.
She girl bossed too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is girl bossing our new word for doing heroin?
Seems to be, yeah.
Right, on to our next story then. A fugly monkey has been found in a woman's conservatory. It's just riveting stuff.
Yeah.
On this episode. I said when we were putting together this episode that I think across the board, this might be the most demented set of stories we've ever put together. Like, in terms of the average intelligence across all stories.
It's really brought it down this episode.
Yeah. It's sort of, we're verging on low IQ territory.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
It feels like we're on that set.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about the fugly monkey. And like KSI's secret girlfriend, we now go over to the BBC. The most munted mammal of all time has been discovered after a woman from Wolverhampton returned home to find a fully grown monkey in her conservatory.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure monkeys aren't native to Wolverhampton.
There aren't loads.
How the fuck did it get there?
Wow, it's turned into a big mystery. Could you actually go on this link and pull up a picture of the monkey?
Yep.
And to all our listeners on Spotify, if you want to hop over to YouTube, you can see this monkey for yourself. Because I've got some questions to ask this monkey. And you need to have a good look at it to see really what I'm getting at with this line of questioning. Right, so here's the article. If you could just scroll down a little bit to where we get a nice picture. Yeah. Okay. That's not a monkey.
It's not.
That's an owl.
It does look like an owl a lot more than a monkey. I saw as well in the article that she said she thought it was a squirrel. I might be speaking out of turn here, and forgive me if I am. In what world does that resemble a fucking squirrel?
I think if you see it from the back, it's got a squirrel tail on it. So maybe you could be forgiven.
Squirrel tails aren't that long.
Scroll down to the next picture. Oh, that's the picture. I mean, it's fucking butters.
Yeah.
I think that could win the ugly dog contest. It will be cheating.
You know what I fucking hate as well? There'd be women that see that and be like, oh, it's so cute. Kill that thing with fire. That is not fucking
My
cute.
sister would be like that. She once said that a pack, you know, like AAA batteries.
Yeah.
Below that, there's like quadruple A, and they're even smaller. She once saw a pack of those, and she was like, "Those batteries are so cute." I was like, "What are you on about?" So my sister would definitely be
all over that.
Yeah, and so let's look down at this sort of. It looks like a sort of Ben 10 alien hybrid.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a monkey.
That is something you can only summon with an Omnitrix.
I don't know. It looks too good at flying to be a monkey. You know what I mean?
I reckon that's the next move for these wolf natives. Just throw it off a cliff and see what happens.
Would be funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so an animal welfare volunteer team received a call from a panicked suburban housewife who, after the weekly shop, was terrified to find this animal in her kitchen. They originally thought it was a squirrel before turning up and discovering what can only be described as the most clapped primate in existence. Experts have been unable to determine who originally owned the monkey or where it came from.
I fucking know where it came from. Do you remember the Monkey Torture King? This is one that escaped.
Right.
This is a product of fucking monkey inbreeding.
They've been going downhill on an organisational and logistics level since he got put away. So you think it's come all the way from Indonesia?
Yeah, I think it's travelled a few miles and
What's
got the wolves.
funny is they rang up the local zoos and be like, "Are you missing a monkey?"
Not that fucking monkey.
And all of them were like, no, we did. So nobody knows where this monkey has come from.
Actually kind of scary.
Yeah, I know. Also, the fact that it's clearly like a piece of alien technology and not a monkey.
Yeah.
It looks like E.T. a bit.
If you put it in the basket of a bike, maybe.
Oh yeah, could definitely see it. I mean, it's similarly hideous.
That genuinely.
It's got a light-skinned stare, hasn't it?
It's kind of got like a Homer Simpson mouth.
Yeah, it's got the mouth of Homer Simpson and the face of a snowy owl on the body of a dog with the tail of a skunk.
That is spot on.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just really weird. Like, what is that?
A permanent look of confusion on his face.
Yeah, if I was that, I'd be like, what the fuck am I?
Not only is it fucking horrid to look at, it also seemingly broke into this house.
Yeah, nobody knows how it got into the house.
Yeah, like the house was fully locked, windows were closed.
So there's loads of mysteries here. Whose fucking monkey is this? What is it? Where did it come from? How did it get in?
Is someone just running around the Wolverhampton area, breaking in and planting ugly monkeys in people's houses?
That would be a good joke. My grandparents once, they came back and there was a man sitting in the study.
Mm. Jesus.
Yeah. Not like stealing or anything.
Just chilling?
Just in the house. So they called the police.
That's so strange.
And the police showed up and they were like, "Oh, come on, mate." Like, he does this all the time.
So normal.
Yeah. They were like, I think he had something
wrong with
it, something not quite connected upstairs. And that was just something, when he sort of broke out of the asylum, that's what he was going to do, just go and sit in people's houses.
Just looking somewhere comfortable.
Now, we move on to Snatch of the day. This is our sports segment, a bumper sports segment today. We've got 2 different stories for you, and we're transitioning from monkey to seagull now, as 9-year-old Cooper, nicknamed Seagull Boy, has become arguably the greatest British sporting hero of all time, after an unlikely upset win in the Belgian Gull Screeching Championships, held in the coastal town of Dieppe last weekend. He scored an unmatched 92 points out of 100, the highest of anyone in the junior, senior, or colony categories.
I'd love to know what he lost points on.
Yeah, I don't know, because as we're about to see in this clip, he's fucking nailed it. Can we just have a quick appreciation for his performance?
3, 2, 1. Can you do other emotions? A seagull that is hungry.
It's the same sound. This is like fucking Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah. Like, can I just say, like, I genuinely not trying to make fun of this kid. This is awesome.
Oh, it is very impressive.
This is sporting glory here.
Yeah.
He fucking nailed it.
The
like,
impression is spectacular.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So
it's one of the more wholesome stories we've ever covered.
Yeah, like genuinely, this is a boy with immense talent following his dreams and achieving success. It's the American dream. It's the Belgian dream.
I don't want to bring it here, but I do feel for him going back to school being known as the Seagull Boy.
That's the thing. It's like, we look at this as adults and we can appreciate that this is fucking cool. Like, it's awesome that this happened, but he is going to get fucking roasted as soon as he gets home.
He is going to get fucking
Seagull Boy as well.
Like, yeah. Very creative name.
That being said, I think this is absolutely awesome, and I think people in time will come to respect this as one of the greatest sporting wins in all of history. So the panel of 5 judges, we saw them there.
Yeah.
17, 19, 18, So they each award 20.
Fucking 17's a bit harsh.
17 is rough.
Yeah.
So they each award 20 points. So 15 points are for the call, imitation, including, as said by an expert, timbre, rhythm, and variation. And 5 points for the outfit and behaviour. As you can see, he was proper flapping his arms in the middle.
Yeah.
So
the only thing that would lose him points in my marking system is that the impression for the normal seagull and the hungry seagull was the exact same.
I don't think you could knock points off for that, considering that seagulls sound the fucking same.
Yeah, but it's just, you know what? Don't knock points off him, but get a new fucking, what do you call him? Judge?
Yeah,
Invigilator?
Invigilator, I like that.
It's a fucking stupid question. Take
yeah,
points
that
off
is a
him.
stupid question. So let's go into backstory on Seagull Boy himself. Cooper, that's his name, first became interested in seagulls after being attacked by one, which is a weird sort of...
That's a weird origin story.
Yeah, I know. And this is proper Avengers here, because basically he thought, I've been attacked here, I've been bitten by a gull.
Yeah.
Basically, he wanted to become Seagull Boy like Spider-Man, except he got bit by a radioactive seagull, I guess.
I don't think he has to worry about Nick Fury knocking on his door anytime soon.
No, I think he'll be all right. So he... that's where he sort of discovered his talent, his affinity for seagulls, if you like.
Yeah.
Do you know who Jane Goodall is, the environmentalist?
I don't.
She came to our school once, so she's known for like basically going out in the jungle and living with gorillas.
Oh shit.
Basically, and sort of like forming emotional bonds with animals to show it's possible.
Right, okay.
That's basically her whole thing. I mean, this guy's basically done it with the seagull.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him, I fucking hate seagulls. They're the most annoying birds.
Pricks.
Like, I genuinely don't know how you can sort of get into seagulls.
Yeah.
Really.
Getting bit by one seems like the only path in
It's
it.
crazy. He was supported by his parents, sister, grandparents, and his lucky mascot. Do you know what it was?
It's hardly a seagull.
It's a seagull, yeah. Great banter here. The name of his seagull is Steven Seagull. It's awesome. That is class. That is really funny. Yeah, 10 points for that. Absolutely. I just want to sum this story up by saying he is now the greatest athlete in the history of Great Britain, and I think he's on course for the Olympic gold.
I see no reason why not.
After winning the European Championship, you've got to think he might win the Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of condoms left over. So
Mate, the only that's going to cause a problem because he might eat one by accident.
he's just in and around fucking eating every single...
Right, on to our next story then. The headline is literally Cheeseball Man Eats Cheeseball. So in New York City, on April 27th, the greatest endurance feat completed this year, definitely the best endurance feat completed this year, happened as American cult hero Cheeseball Man ate over 2,000 calories of cheese balls in one sitting. The event had initially been advertised with mysterious flyers being posted around Manhattan, simply stating, "Come see me eat this entire jar of cheese balls on April 27th.
Another very well thought out, multi-layered nickname.
Cheeseball Man. I'd love to see a sort of crossover film like Seagull Boy and Cheeseball Man.
They join forces.
Or are they rival? They've got to be rivals, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
I feel like Cheeseballs are getting nicked out by Seagulls.
There's not enough room in the city for both.
Not much of a fight, I have to say. I think Seagull Boy has it on Cheeseball Man.
Yeah, he should win. Should be a fucking comfortable victory.
Yeah, and maybe enemies turn to...
Lovers.
Hope not. Anyway, yeah, I have to say, if I'm seeing this flyer
Yeah.
that just says, "Come and see me eat this," I'm not coming.
Yeah.
I've got better things to do in my life, I'm sorry.
Maybe my opinion on what 2,000 calories look like is a bit skewed, but if I read
It's not that much.
I wouldn't think it's that impressive.
They
That's
don't-
like your average Yanks breakfast.
I have to say, it only took him half an hour to eat all of them.
Surely you've done that. I've probably done that.
Yeah. I mean, I like What's-Its a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Basically, it's a cheese ball just a what's it
yeah.
in ball shape.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
so.
I've had that amount of what's in less time too. Although I suppose,
So you think this is rubbish because you've actually done it better?
yeah, I think he's a fucking imposter and I'm coming for his crown. I suppose though the impressive thing isn't the eating them; it's the not throwing up after you've had it, especially in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm still absolutely flabbergasted that like people showed up
Yeah,
in droves to this event, and the festivities. Like before he ate the cheese balls, he delivered a speech, and that speech has 10 million views.
that is mental. Should we get it up?
I mean, I haven't watched it before, so I can't vouch for its quality. But I feel like we've got to have a little.
Just for journalistic curiosity.
Yeah.
How does the crowd cheer on the Caped Crusader of Cheeseball?
This is so fucking painfully American.
That chant is crazy.
700 balls in just under 30 minutes, washing them down with water.
Oh, he gets a drink.
That's
A crowd of hundreds of spectators in New York's Union
I'm sorry.
Park.
Why cheese balls?
I had one and I was like, this food is quite fantastic.
I love the character he's putting on there.
this sounds like a fucking Adam Sandler impression.
An anonymous superhero with cheese.
Mate, this would only happen in America because in Britain you start doing this, people are like, "Oh, fuck this. Fucking weirdo.
Despite hurling up in my mouth a little bit, I kept it down and I made the people proud, I think. But if not,
No, he's
He had a
you know what-
garbage
you know what
bag
impression he's doing
because
there?
his stomach
What's that?
rebelled.
Zoolander.
Yeah, he is kind of going for that.
He's doing Zoolander. He's full
managed
what's his name? Derek.
Derek Zoolander,
Yeah.
yeah.
to down his 699th cheese ball, and then his 700th. Crowned with a hat like a traffic cone.
Can I shake your hand? Can I shake your cheese hat? Sure.
Oh my god.
You dirty bastard.
Right.
Run for president.
At 22, he's too young for a presidential run, but his campaign to whip up interest in Cheeseball Man was
Fucking,
Mate, look at that. Hang on.
he's wearing his boxers.
I went home and
Okay, right.
showered
It's a lot
with
to-
what else?
There's a lot to drill down into
Yeah.
there. Firstly, this wouldn't work in Britain because
No,
nobody
no.
could give a fuck about this. Also,
The crowd he had.
yeah, have you seen it? He's packed out the place.
Yeah.
That's
That's like fucking Loftus Road.
and they're all cheering. That's like an unnecessary dig at QPR.
Just the first one that came to mind.
And it's like, they're all cheering. Like, I'd be bored after 5. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very repetitive.
Don't get me wrong, if I walked past and that happened somewhere in like central London, I'd maybe be like, oh, what's going on there? Oh, he's eating cheese. Oh, cheese balls. That's pretty cool. Move on.
Yeah.
You wouldn't stop and spend fucking an hour of your day watching him consume 700 of them.
I like the whole, like, being a masked vigilante aspect of it. as
Yeah.
well.
I saw that he was claiming that everyone's wondering who's the man behind the mask.
Are they?
This is a serious case of like main character syndrome. You eat a lot of crisps, that's it. Nobody in New York is keeping themselves up at night thinking, oh, who's
Thing is, you
who's
know
the
what
man?
Americans are like? I feel like some might be, you know.
Do you think?
But I'm wondering where he takes it from here, because he's really established his one thing.
Yeah. Did you read enough of the article to see that he already has a date in the calendar for next year?
Yeah, I've I've heard that someone pressed him about what he's going to do next, and he said same thing, same time next year.
Yeah. He
Are
said,
we going?
I-
Surely.
April 27th, 2025, bring your bib. It's going to get real cheese dusty.
Well, we'll be ready to report on that when that happens, I'm sure.
What do you
Be an
reckon?
exciting-
What are the places that are most likely to suffer from like an excess of cheese dust?
That's an interesting question. It's so specific, it makes me think you had an answer in mind, but...
The editor's table at the fellas. A CEX staff room, maybe?
Yeah. What, they just have like the highest density of cheese dust in it already?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know my the Dungeons and Dragons Club at school.
Yeah.
They're really up there.
That's a good point.
Although a lot of it is more Dorito
Mm.
than what's it specifically.
Having any sort of crisp dusting on your fingers, I think, is a good enough way to.
That's why I'm a hula hoops man. No residue.
Yeah.
It's clean.
See as well, there's no reason to have to use your hands for a bag of crisps. I just fucking.
No, I can't. Like, if you're having Walkers, I can't open my mouth that much.
Yeah, true. Most of my crisps are sort of a bit more like hula hoops, for example. I'm just pouring them.
Mine's it's dangerous sometimes, because if you have some Twiglets and then you get one straight down the throat and you end up like that guy's girlfriend. Moving on to the weather. This is drizzle kicks coming at you now, and it's bad news for all my Saharan Africans this week, as the region has experienced, I was going to say unexpected, but a heat wave. As temperatures soared, oscillating like Prince Harry's penis between 32 degrees and 45 degrees in April. Is this news a heat wave in the desert? Because that's sort of its thing, really.
It's
what
kind
it's
of
known
part and
for.
parcel of being in a desert.
Yeah, but it has been unseasonably hot in the Sahara, which
Yeah.
boggles my mind.
It's like complaining about getting frostbite in the fucking Antarctic. It goes without saying.
So, you signed up for this, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says it in the tin.
What's the hottest? Have you ever been somewhere 40 degrees plus?
I think Kavos might have been like 35.
35?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I lived in Singapore. And in Singapore, because it's on the equator, they don't have seasons.
Yeah.
So it's the same temperature the whole year round.
Just like really hot all year.
36.
Fuck.
It's just always 36.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's sweaty ass crack syndrome is
Just
pervasive across that entire land.
Constant swamp ass.
Oh, it's horrible. yeah. It's like Shrek.
I was going to say, like, lads, just fucking turn on the SE, but I am
Yeah.
struggling with the heat in our studio today.
It's nowhere near as hot as that.
Yeah.
It is not 45 degrees in here.
We had a 17-degree summer, or like, we had a 17-degree day in Ireland a few summers ago. Where
17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was on the edge of heat stroke.
I have to say, I think it's good that the fellas didn't decide to build the studios in Timbuktu.
That is a good point, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have got a bit.
I know it was between London and Timbuktu. It went with London in the end.
The creator hub.
Yeah. So death figures are not known due to the general lack of reporting and infrastructure. It's an incredibly underdeveloped region of the world. But one hospital in Mali has recorded more than 130 deaths alone from heat stroke in the past month. And that's one hospital in one country, and I'm talking about the whole of the Sahara Desert. So it's probably quite a lot. The toll is also higher than expected due to the heat wave coinciding with Ramadan. So people aren't even drinking any fluids between.
That's not helping them.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? I always thought about this, because you know when Ramadan is on and the Premier League footballers
Yeah.
do it, and then they sort of stop for drinks like at a random point through the match because the sun's gone down.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that before? Yeah. Like, obviously they're not gonna compromise their religious principles. Because I thought, like, if you're a professional athlete, you need to be drinking fluids at all times to keep you operating at the top.
Yeah, the fact that they can still run for 90 minutes with like no water and whatever, it's mental.
It's like, you know, I respect that, but at what point, how close to death's door do you have to get before you abandon it?
See, even if I get a mild sweat on, I'm breaking Ramadan.
Yeah, exactly. Me too, bro. But the thing is, I don't really do Ramadan anyway, so it's quite easy for me.
Yeah, it's easy for us to say that.
Yeah.
As we sip from our water.
Well, it's not Ramadan at the moment.
Yeah, but there's a fucking heat wave.
Not where we are.
True. I don't know. It's fucking warm today. Like
That was a weird, like, I felt like I was just flexing on everybody in the Sahara then. No, we do feel for you. He says, pouring a glass of water. I'm sorry. That was just bad timing. I didn't mean to do. There was that great comedy bit about, you know, if you want to solve poverty, don't send them food. Send them U-Hauls, like trucks, so they can transport the food. Because they don't live where the fucking food is.
Yeah.
Maybe I've ever thought about that. It's the desert. Nothing grows there. Why don't you just...
it's a better shout.
Yeah, move somewhere
It's
else.
like the whole teach a man to fish thing. If you can teach a Saharan how to drive a U-Haul truck.
Yeah. So I think if you... Great analogy. I think we can sum up this story by saying, I can't help thinking that if my country was stuck with a heat stroke and a famine, I'd just move.
Yeah.
Scientists have attributed this heat wave to climate change.
I'm not sure there's any proof that that actually exists.
No, of course not. So, yeah, there we
Full
go.
of shit.
You know, who knows what it's from. On to our next segment, Gamey Schumer, then, and inspired by one of the most famous panel show games in history. Today, we're playing our very own version of Carrot in a Box. It's JFK in a Box. Welcome then to Gamey Schumer. We are playing JFK in a box. We each have a box, but only one box contains JFK. The goal is to end up with JFK in the box. It's a doll of JFK. It's not like his corpse.
No, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah. It's JFK's corpse. I'm going to look in the box, and then we're going to play JFK in a box. It's exciting, right? I have JFK.
Do you have JFK?
I've just opened that box, and I've stared JFK dead in the eyes.
Dead in the eyes?
Well, yeah. Well, he would be. But, yeah.
What's he wearing?
JFK.
Yeah.
He's wearing a suit.
Is he wearing a suit?
He's wearing I would say it's a presidential suit.
Have a look again. Tell me what colour the suit is.
He's wearing a grey suit.
I feel like he could probably wear a grey suit
With a
any
blue
day of the
tie.
week. That doesn't really help me.
He's wearing a grey suit with a blue tie.
You've definitely got JFK.
I would put my life on it.
Do you have JFK?
The JFK is lying dead in this box, in a suit, with a blue tie.
I think I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah.
Well, you have to run it by the CIA.
He's still alive somewhere.
That would be cool. He would be dead. He would have died of old age, though, which wouldn't be that exciting.
This is just a fucking horrible game of bluff. You don't know whether someone's double bluffing you, whether someone's being completely honest.
Thank you for explaining the game to the audience. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm telling you, right now, JFK, right in there. Remember, you want JFK badly.
Yeah.
I want JFK badly.
I do
But
want JFK pretty badly.
I have JFK.
You have him?
Yeah.
And you want to keep him?
Yeah.
I want JFK too.
Yeah.
So I think I would like... I think I'd like to keep my box.
You want to keep your box?
Yeah.
Okay.
At what point do we reveal?
Guess I reveal. Do I have JFK or not? In my box. It's a horse. I've got a horse. You have JFK.
Yes!
Aiden has won this week's edition of JFK in a box. He is actually... I haven't seen him before, and he's wearing a suit with a fucking blue tie. I got that right.
Yeah.
I've literally never seen it in my life.
I just kind of felt like you were being too, like, descriptive.
Oh yeah,
too detailed.
I wanted to go out there straight away with all guns blazing, and hopefully you would just switch.
It can either work to your advantage or just give you up. In this case, I kind of knew from the start that it wasn't in that box. But you wanna hold him and see?
There we go. This is a treasure I will never have.
We
But
need
he'll
to
look good on our set somewhere.
Yeah, we need to find a spot for him somewhere.
You can put him on the ledge of dreams with the salt and the Coke spoon.
You need somewhere more visible for next week, but he'll do there for now. He can mind the Coke spoon.
He loves that stuff. Now we move on to our consumer advice segment. This is Out of Packet. Aidan, what have you got for me this week?
So I know you've been kind of struggling with this for a while, so I thought I'd reach out to a medical professional to seek some help. And
God.
they suggested having a read through this.
Oh no. Oh no.
Because you have been telling us about the frequency of which you've been at
Am
it.
I? Okay. Yeah, great. This is Living with a Wank Addiction by Dick Ryder. Dr. Dick Ryder.
Dr. Dick Ryder.
Excellent.
Get
Well-
the proper title in.
Let's just have a look. I mean, as you can see, this guy's been... Oh, for fuck.
What is that?
Can't put that in. I can tell this guy is a fraud already because serial wankers also procrastinate massively. And most of this is sort of notepad space. But there is a bit at the front.
So you reckon he himself is dealing with the wank addiction, but he's not in a position to be telling people how to cure it?
Yeah. Should we just read a little... Dear compulsive wanker. That's a good start to anything. As you embark on this transformative journey, may you find the courage to explore your inner landscape, the resilience to face your challenges, and the wisdom to embrace the changes that come your way. Your story is valuable, your experiences are valid, and your growth is worthy of celebration. Let this journal be your guiding light, illuminating the path to a healthier, happier you. Join hands in this noble quest to combat climate change, one tissue at a time. Like that. Let's come together and use fewer tissues for a greener and more sustainable tomorrow. With warmth and encouragement, Dr. Dick Ryder, MBE.
MBE?
MBE, yeah. So there's sort of an environmental slant to this. The next chapter's titled Wanking from Home. Then there's Gary the Tosser.
Me and Matt do that on Fridays.
And then, they've thoughtfully provided some emergency wank material if the Wi-Fi is down.
Ah.
Can I just show that to you there?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Uncensored version on last page. Well, got to check that out. I think we remember where that's going. Okay, so fantastic. How much was this?
I think that was £12.
£12.
For about 12 pages.
I have to say, for £12, you're not getting a whole lot of book.
Yeah.
But what's in there is useful. The first sort of 4-ish pages.
Yeah.
So all I can say, I think this is a fantastic present, maybe for a relative on Christmas or something like that. It's a stocking stuffer, I reckon. So there we go. I'll be keeping this, adding it to the collection next to my first edition Great Gatsby.
All the
Right,
Colleen Hoover books.
Yes, next to my next to Normal People, my favourite book. Now we're heading on to Questionable. This is where I grill my audience, interrogate them with some difficult questions, and we respond to the best answers. This week I asked you, who or what is your greatest enemy? What is that thing that you have to deal with in life? Gets you down, something you have to fight against, resist. Starting it off here with a strong one. My greatest enemy is Yoda. I hate, and I don't use that term lightly, him with the entirety of my heart. The Green Goblin is impossible to avoid if you enjoy Star Wars in any medium, and I'm forced to watch him talk absolute gobshite while he lets colossal losses of life and epic failures happen around him. The Jedi Order is a great argument for democracy and variation at the highest levels. Very serious response here.
Yeah.
Have to say, how much do you like Star Wars? Because
It's okay, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. But I do agree that Yoda, he's literally just like a midget with a speech impediment. He's not like this wise person that the Star Wars fans try and claim he is.
Yeah, but how often is Yoda really coming up? That's the thing, like, is this a demon you're really having... Like, you could just not watch Star Wars. It's totally possible.
But if he's a huge Star Wars fan and that's the only thing getting in his way of enjoying it,
I guess so. Also, is he that bad?
I don't think so. The way he speaks is fucking annoying, but...
Yeah, but it's written... This is written like he's Joseph Stalin or something. Like, he's not like a brutal dictator, I would say. He is a bit annoying.
Yeah, he didn't have a red lightsaber.
I think if I walked past him in the street, my first thought would be, how far could I kick a drop goal with this guy?
Probably pretty far with Yoda.
He's pretty small.
You could curl him into a ball,
He's
kinda.
small and light. Yeah, absolutely. Next one. Jeffrey Epstein, but then the fear defeated itself as I got older. It's a nice one.
It makes sense too. You don't really have much to... Same with like Michael Jackson and stuff. Once you get past the age of like 12, you're safe.
You're sound. Also, he's dead now, so you're really sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like before the years... What was it, 2009 he died? Michael Jackson? It was like 2008-9.
Yeah. I was a young kid then.
Yeah. You would have been his fucking prime
I calmed
target.
down immediately.
Yeah.
Felt a lot better.
You felt more safe day to day.
Genuinely, I'm not like trying to be funny here, but the two sort of big deaths that I can remember occurring throughout my childhood, where the news was just everywhere about it, was Michael Jackson and Osama. Genuinely, the two deaths I remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember anyone else dying.
My big ones... Well, I suppose it never came out that she actually died, but Maddie McCann. That was my big one that I remember like seeing a lot of news coverage of.
I was too young for that.
2007, I think it was.
Yeah, as I said, like, I'm only the year above her in
Yeah.
school, so like I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I would have been like 7 at the time, so I remember a bit of it.
It was everywhere.
But it went on for years. It was everywhere for so long.
And then weirdly, Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, I remember him dying, even though David Bowie died just before, and that was way more important. Next one. Constipation, specifically after a curry. Don't even know how that's possible.
Usually it's the opposite.
Yeah. He says, but he does say it's a medical oxymoron and a real bastard to navigate when you're at your lowest nursing a brutal hangover. This has never happened to me. Curry is like a one-way ticket to Arse Blast.
I had half
Arse Blast City.
Yeah, I had half a korma whenever I first moved over here, and my stomach was in bits for days.
Okay, well that's not the spice though. I think you've just eaten some raw chicken then, because korma's...
It's just the Indian,
no.
like the flavouring of the sauce.
Curry.
No, but there's a certain type of it. Doesn't matter.
It's the ethnic foods that your body has kind of
Yeah, my
adjusted
body's
to.
racist.
It's because if you only eat chips
Yeah,
for years, and then suddenly you have a curry, and you're like, whoa, shit, I can't deal with this. It's crazy. There's like flavors and
seasoning and stuff.
seasonings. that I've
Throws me
never
off, kinda.
experienced before, and you don't have ketchup with it.
No, I still do.
Right, next one. Bathroom doors that don't have a lock on it puts you in a very vulnerable position, particularly if the door is out of leg range to block potential entrance. Yeah, fully agree. You know, you ever have to do the one, you're sitting on the toilet and
Your
then
feet up, your hand, yeah.
sort of double-handing it.
Yeah.
Keep it, especially if the natural position of the door is open, so you're having to push against
Yeah.
just to stop it swinging back.
My dad would do a lot of like work around the house and stuff like that, and he'd come home from work himself then decide, oh, you know what, it's 9:30 in the evening, I'm going to wallpaper the house, or he's going to sand the door, or he's going to paint the door. My brother Jamie a couple of days ago was like, oh, I was trying to go for a shit there, but Dad took the fucking bathroom door, took it downstairs to paint it or something. It's like, not only did he not have a lock on it, he just had no fucking door at all.
Yeah. Oh, that's...
What do you do in that situation? Do you just risk it? Do it for the thrill?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm shitting in the wild. By the wild, I mean with no door.
Yeah.
That's basically the Wild West.
Do you have a greatest enemy?
Not really. I feel like I've... Actually, yeah. Well, let's get deep here. It's going to be like a deep psychological analysis. I'm going to be honest and open for the first time on the podcast. Podcast first. 11 episodes in. My greatest fear has always been that I would die, right? Not just die, everyone dies, but would die and leave absolutely nothing behind. So
Yeah.
you die and you don't affect the world at all. Like you literally, you're not in history for anything ever at all, and you had no impact on the world, and it would have been the exact same without you. I don't want that to be me.
I feel like you've kind of already cleared that.
So that's why I'm fine.
Yeah.
I beat the enemy.
So you're good now?
I'm all good now. Now I'm just chilling. Whereas before, I remember I was at music college trying to be a rock star in my gap year when I was 18.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to change the world with my music, man.
I think in a way you have.
Well, yeah, it's come around, but back then, because like trying to release music anywhere is like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, as in it's not going to connect with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like nobody's going to receive that. So it's just like shouting. It's like shouting into space. Like nobody's going to hear it, right? It's too big of an area. So I've manufactured a sort of way around it by posting crap TikToks, and I will continue to do so until the end of time.
So basically, if anyone has any fears, just start a TikTok.
That would be my advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get over it. Right. Next one. It's quite deep there.
It was.
Next one. For the last, this is maybe my favourite input anyone's ever had to this show. For the last 6 years, I have been in a vicious battle with the 65-year-old Filipino man that owns the corner shop round the corner from my house. Almost every weekend, I walk in at 11 a.m. on a Sunday looking like a malnourished prisoner of war, barely keeping myself awake and out of the scummy post-sesh abyss. Every week, he laughs at me. I tell him I'm going to stop soon. And every time, he bets me a tenner that I'll be there the exact same time next week. You'd think I'd have learnt my lesson by now, but unfortunately, being the disgusting degenerate I am, I can't say no to the bet. This has been going on for about 3 years now, and I'd probably only end up winning 11 or 12 weeks out of the whole year. I reckon this man is probably close to a grand up over the whole saga because I refuse to back down. That's an awesome story.
Yeah. That's 90% of that man's profit in the shop, probably.
Yeah, you're keeping his business afloat. It was that and the furlough scheme. Furlough scheme is awesome because what you can do, if you're a business owner, employ your kids and then just furlough them.
Did that happen to you?
No.
That's sad.
We didn't live in the country at the time.
I quit my job the week before COVID started. That's not relevant for the podcast, but I missed out on the furlough by a week.
That is so rough.
Yeah.
My mate was a chef at Spoons, which is a terrible job.
Yeah.
Really, really depressing job.
They didn't give furlough, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, he got nice. He didn't have to... You know, the eggs, right? They just come in a circle.
Yeah. It's fucking...
It's so great.
See him, like the fella I lived with before I moved over here was a chef in Spoons, and he got that furlough
Chef
too.
is such a big word for it as well. It's like when they call the Starbucks workers baristas.
It's fucking microwave dinners.
Yeah, I know. Next one. Senile people who put their cards in machines instead of using contactless should be banned from owning credit cards. They don't understand them and waste everybody else's time. Agree? What I don't understand is how old people are able to perfectly work the scan as you shop technology.
Yeah. They're pretty efficient with it.
What the fuck is that? Firstly, scan as you shop. I've literally never used... What is that thing?
I fucking hate it so much.
What is the need for that? And why? How are old people geniuses at that, but they can't send an email? I don't understand how they've adapted so quickly to this one specific piece of technology.
They've just got like fucking quick draw on that.
Yeah,
but everything else is like it takes them ages.
They upgraded all in one stat. Definitely. I've never understood scanners. Like, I'm not sure I could actually operate the machine. As bad as that is to say.
The thing I hate more is, you know, like self-service ones where everything you scan through needs a customer assistant to approve it. What the fuck's the point in the self-service if you need someone to come and sort it for you?
Then they have to check that you're 16 for something.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, everyone thinks I'm 35 already. So, if you have a beard, like, you don't need to get checked for this.
Yeah.
Be good.
I never got ID'd for anything in my life, like back in Ireland. I was drinking from I was like maybe 13, 14, never got ID'd.
To be fairness,
that makes sense.
Like, in fairness, you did look 48.
Yeah,
so.
Even back then.
Yeah.
Well, I got ID'd for paracetamol over here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh. Do you hear that? The phone's ringing. And this time it actually is ringing, unlike last week. Oh. Big news. Big news, baby. Thank you so much. Cheers. Well, we have a scoop for you tonight. I've just had a call down the wire from our celebrities correspondent, Herman Boring. This is today's news. Today, of course, being the 4th of August, 1962. Film star and sex symbol Marilyn Monroe has been found dead in her Beverly Hills content house at the age of 36. Known for being a party legend and an absolute sesh head, her death has been ruled an accidental overdose of barbiturates, which is, of course, my favourite party drug. I love a barbiturate.
Just fun to say, if nothing else.
Barbiturate. Mate, well, the thing is, like, you have a pint, you have another one, and then you're like, I could go for a barbiturate, actually.
Do you reckon there's many barbiturate dealers around here?
I reckon, give me half an hour, I could get hold of some barbiturates. They're also, like, they're Moorish, like, once you pop one, you can't stop. They're like Pringles.
Mm.
And they really make a night, like, get so fried on barbiturates. Love them. For now, the case has been ruled as having no shady circumstances. But of course, there are theories already flying around, even though this just happened. Obviously, she was found face down in her bed, phone still in her hand, which seems a bit just weirdly suspicious to me. A bit like Cluedo. It's a weird murder. She is sneaky links with JFK and RFK.
Both of them?
Both of them. Which, I mean, respect.
Yeah.
Major respect. There's an obvious conflict of interest within the fam there. I feel like being sneaky links with your own, like, sharing a sneaky link with your own brother has got to cause some problems.
Just a bit, it's not incestuous, but it feels as if it is.
Bit grim.
Yeah.
They'd have to work out a gentleman's agreement, a timeshare or something, because you wouldn't want to be double booked.
You need to do like a rota at the start of a week.
Yeah, I think so. Who has to take the bins out? That's rude.
A Marilyn Monroe.
This is why you listen to this shit. A Marilyn Monroe. What a pun. That's top 5 puns on this podcast all the time.
Stuff.
Beautiful stuff. Some people think that rogue agents from either the freelance beehive inspectors, so the FBI, or the Curry Ingesters Alliance. I think you're a member of the Curry Ingesters Alliance after that call.
I'm not ingesting much of it.
Have taken her out. I don't mean take her out like take her out to dinner. I mean take her out, as in Merker, to put pressure on the president. Maybe the communists might be behind it. Who knows? Who knows? Theory's still flying around at this point. I have to say, I did it. I just want to go out there and say I did it.
Yeah.
Just for a laugh. I didn't do it really, but...
There's no point in wasting everyone's time if we've got the culprit right here.
Yeah, just lock me up. I'm ready to go. Yeah.
The most impressive thing about Marilyn Monroe is the fact that she died so young, yet still managed to get through 3 marriages.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's very efficient.
She's churning through these things.
Mm.
One of them was to the playwright Arthur Miller, which we had to read one of his plays at school. And I was like, this is so fucking boring. I hate this. And then the teacher said that. And I was like, I respect this guy now. I've got to read this book.
Yeah, he's got some sort of game.
I got a lot better at English after that because I was like, my apologies. I wasn't familiar with your game, Arthur Miller. One of the best authors of all time now. Yeah.
Who do you reckon is the modern day Marilyn?
See, here's the thing. It's difficult because I've got a bit of a theory about Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
She's actually not very fit.
I'm not even questioning that. I mean more so like obviously she was a sex symbol and the money she made from films, I think like what it would be worth now is close to $2 billion.
Oh,
So
really?
Is there someone that is it Margot Robbie or someone?
I mean, if we're looking down the sort of family tree of sort of, as Throb Marley would say, haplands in sort of Hollywood, I guess she's sort of taken up that.
She's a natural successor.
But the thing is, it was a bit different back in the day because like there weren't as many films getting made. There weren't as many famous people. you know?
Yeah.
It's like back in the day, in the 60s, there were like 20 bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 20 popular bands. Whereas now, there's millions and millions. So it's a bit more split up than it used to be. It was very sort of monopolized.
It's a lot more congested.
Yeah. So it's a tough one. But going back to what I was saying, Marilyn Monroe is definitely in that group of people that I think everyone thinks are fit because of context,
Yeah.
but aren't really. JFK is in there as well. I don't actually think he's very good looking, although he's regarded as like good looking president.
Yeah.
Princess Diana. The girl from Sex and the City, the main one. You would think she's really fit because she's in Sex and the City.
Yeah, there's this whole like thing on TikTok now that I've seen about people being medium ugly, which is literally just a munter, but they're famous. Do you know what I mean?
For like JFK.
Yeah, like there's so many people that you see people like fucking thirsting over. If they worked in a fucking spar,
I always think that about footballers.
yeah,
All footballers.
they wouldn't be
pretty
getting
much.
any attention if they were behind a deli counter.
No. Why do you think I started making TikToks? There we go. Thank you once again for tuning into an exhilarating, breathtaking episode of Radio Rufus. If you're on YouTube and you're wondering why I'm dressed like Harry Potter right now, it's because the Harry Potter rap that I made will be out Thursday, 6 p.m. As always, we put out a song every week on the YouTube channel, so go and check that. If you're on Spotify and you're listening, you're completely confused by that whole thing, head on over to YouTube, check it out for the full visual experience. I assure you, the podcast looks great. We're trying to smash 15,000 subscribers, so make sure you get there so we can get to that target. Thank you so much. And as always, back to you in the studio.